Assalamu alaikum. We are from Hanafi sect. Now when we read any hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari or Sahih Muslim, so do we follow it or stick to our Hanafi way of ibadah? We are puzzled as we read that we must be part of the same part of some sect, for example, way of sitting in salat and many more. They give lots of importance to fiqh and say it is very important. Please guide us. Thank you. This is a very common question. You see, being part of a sect, and actually the word sect is incorrect. The sect is Ahl Sunnah, and they are the majority of Muslims. Hanafi is not a sect. Shafi'i is not a sect. Hanbali and Maliki are not a sect. They are schools of thought. So being part of the school of thought of Hanafi is acceptable. However, if a person is so ignorant about Islam, he knows nothing about Arabic and he has no ability to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong, and hence he is following his imam or he is following someone who is teaching him. In this case, it is not so easy for me to go and say to him, if you read a hadith in Bukhari, you have to follow it. Though it is authentic, but we don't know if this hadith was abrogated or not. We don't know if this hadith is general and there are specific evidences that make an exception. So for a person who is a layman and a complete ignorant in Islamic laws and sciences, we would say that this would be acceptable, unless it's something that is crystal clear to anyone who can understand it. But for those who have some knowledge, like the brother or the sister asking this question, it appears that he or she has the ability to distinguish, to ask questions, to clarify things. In this case, no. It is not permissible for you to follow your school of thought blindly and say, yeah, I know, I can read the evidence from the Quran and it's obvious that what I'm doing is wrong, but still I'm going to follow my imam. I'm going to follow my school of thought so that my people would not go against me. No, this is wrong. You have to follow the authentic hadith that it was said by the Prophet ﷺ. Now, having said that, this does not mean you, because for example, as you've mentioned, in prayer there are different things in prayer that the Hanafi school is not following the Sunnah. However, it is still a Sunnah, meaning that if I don't follow, I'm not sinful. So if in the Hanafi school you put your right hand over your left hand under your belly or on your belly button, now this is against the Sunnah. The Sunnah is to put the right hand over the left on the chest. This is the authentic hadith. But if you don't want to follow the Sunnah and you want to follow your madhab, you are not sinful, because even if you don't put your right hand over the left altar in prayer and just put them on your sides, your prayer is valid. So you have to distinguish and you have to differentiate between acts that are mandatory. Your madhab tells you something, but for example the Sunnah is contradictory to it and it's an issue that is mandatory. In this case, no, you have to follow the Sunnah. You have to follow the hadith and go against your madhab, because your madhab, your school of thought, is wrong. But when it comes to recommended things or voluntary things that do not involve sin, so whether you do it or not, you're not sinful. It's up to you to follow the school of thought or to follow the hadith, though I would always go with the hadith.